Hi everyone, this is Carrie Ann with Stampin' on the Bright Side, and I'm just going to do a quick little project. So my upline, Lisa Marie, set a challenge. She does Sunday stamping with her daughter, who is also on her team, and they set a couple of challenges. And I did Lisa Marie's card last night. I have not done a video of it, but this is the card I did for Lisa Marie's challenge. And I think I already did a video that included information on this, but I can't remember. Or maybe I just did it in my live. I can't remember now. But I think I'm going to change it up because I don't have any more of these little dots, and I think I might use this paper for the banner and then use some pink candy dots that I have left over from way back in the day. Something that might go with that Flirty Flamingo. I think those might work, and that way I can use up some of my old stuff too that I have sitting around, and I think it would just brighten it up a little bit. I really like the card. I didn't like it to start with, but I really like how it turned out, except that it seems a little plain, so I think I would maybe brush the edges or sponge the edges. So I'm going to do that on today's card. I'll show you what today's card is. Well, I thought I had to sneeze. Sorry. So this is Becca's challenge. Becca's challenge was a 4.25 inch base by 11, and then you score it at 5.5. And so that's what I did. And then she had an embossed layer at 3 3/4 by 5, and my embossed layer, it was embossed by, let me see if I can find it. I think it's called the detail. It's this one. It has that fine detail. It just makes the textured paper. Makes nicely textured paper. Okay, so that's my embossed layer, and then your DSP is, the embossed layer was 3 3/4 by 5. The DSP was 3 by 4 1/4, and I chose this beautiful paper from, let me find it. So this is called Garden Lane Designer Series paper, and I picked this piece. This piece on the other side has this. Okay, so then this pattern looks like this. Let me set these aside. This one has that on the other side. This one we've already seen. Okay, then there's this one. This one I think I've already shown you, or something similar. Something similar. Okay, this one. It's all the different greens. So pretty. I wish I had gotten it out in March. This one, and I think I already showed you this one. Yeah. All right, so I just love this. So I wanted to get it out for St. Patrick's Day, and then somehow I just ended up not doing that. St. Patrick's Day. So okay, little chatting, little backstory. So the weekend before spring break, I did a marathon up at Raccoon Mountain in Chattanooga, and so I was tired and sore. We camped for a few days. It rained the whole time, and when I did the marathon, that was 2 days after school got out, and we knew we were not coming back as far as like not until at least 1 week after we were supposed to come back, but maybe until sometime in April. It was kind of unknown, didn't know what was going to happen. So I came back not really feeling like stamping much, unsure of what's going on, and a little bit stressed and tired. And then I've mentioned before, I'm the union president, so my whole spring break was pretty much spent calming other people down, which is fine because I like that. It's part of my job, and I do enjoy working with people and being helpful. So anyway, I kind of missed St. Patrick's Day. So now I just have to look forward to next year doing something, but maybe I'll find something else to do with the green paper. All right, so what I did is I went ahead and recut my pieces. So this is my base. It's 4.25 by 11, and then scored at 5.5. And then I have my layer that I'm about to emboss is at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then my DSP is 3 by 4 1/4. And I kind of thought I might experiment with this, but I think I just want to stick with it. And then this was going to be my embossed layer. I used that really pretty detailed flowery background, but it was too much. It was just too much for this paper to lay on top of. You really couldn't see the pretty designs, and it just was kind of awkward. So I just set it aside, and then I realized because she wants a banner. She wants a 1 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch banner. And so, and it says CS banner. I don't remember what CS is supposed to be, but this is what I went with. And so when I did that, that really stood out. So I'll do a banner punch on this one using the triple banner. So I can go ahead and do that now. So let's go ahead and, how many minutes am I in? I can't see it. I don't want to make this too long. It takes a long time to upload. I don't know how much time I have. I can't see it. So I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm just going like maybe halfway in. I'm just trying to make sure it's even on, well, maybe I am going all the way in. I think maybe I did. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay, so that's done. And I'm going to go ahead and run this through the Big Shot with this. All right, now I've got to do some Big Shot adjustment here because you know what I might go ahead and do? Well, no, I won't. Let me just go ahead and make my arrangements that I need to make. Okay. Okay, I cannot remember if I have to pull back a layer or two. I think I do. I think for embossing folders. And then I don't remember if this one I need both plates or not. Some of them, we've changed thicknesses of our embossing folders, and so some of them you have to use the blue plate for. Some of them, yeah, this is gonna work. Okay, so let me pull and just use, we're not making a sandwich. I'm just gonna go like this and run it through. And I'm going to use all of my, I really just need to go ahead and upgrade and get the new base. But I just found out we're getting a new, possibly a new cutter embosser. Nope. What am I doing wrong? I did this earlier. Okay, so let's try this again. That's not going to emboss anything. Let's try the blue plate. The blue plate wasn't working either. It was too thick. But we're going to do it. Maybe. Oh, now you're going to work. Maybe I did do the blue plate earlier, and I'm thinking about a different card. I don't know. That was awkward. Anyway, so I'm just going to put this guy away. Actually, we're going to leave him out. Because we're going to put our detail. This is our precision base plate, which I cut on the wrong side. We're going to put that in there with one of our sandwich plates. And then just have it ready for the next step coming up, which I'll get to in just a minute. Okay, so this makes, like I said, it makes that pretty textured kind of paper. Any paper becomes textured cardstock. It's just very delicate and detailed. So let's go ahead and adhere that down. And you can glue down either side, doesn't matter. Trying to use it the last of this bottle, and honestly every time I think like it's empty, this glue lasts forever. Every time I think that it's empty, it's not. It just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. That's kind of bent there. Well, you know what, well, let's do this. No, let's do this. Let's go ahead, because then it's going to be on the inside of my card, and I don't want the bend on the inside of the card. Okay, so lay this down. Go ahead and put the DSP down. And wow, I'm so quiet when I glue things. Just trying to concentrate, I guess. All right, I'm going to center it. So we're going back on to Lisa Marie's page, and they're going to go live, and they're going to reveal, we had to share our cards with the hashtag Tuesday Challenge, and then they're going to reveal what their cards look like. So we can kind of see, so they made cards with these measurements and then told us the measurements and what kind of paper belonged to each measurement. And I think the idea, I've never done one of these before. I think the idea is like, it could go either way. You could either all kind of end up, oh, that's kind of crooked. Well, you know what? It's there. So you could all end up with pretty much the same card, only with different papers. Or you can see how you can take all these different elements and make all these different kinds of cards. All right, so the next thing that I did, I don't know if you can see this, I used vellum and I cut these little leaves out using our, oh, let me find it, where it is. So it's called Flourish Thinlits. It matches this stamp set called Flourishing Phrases. So you can stamp, and actually I'm going to stamp this big flourish on the inside, just the top part of it, but you can stamp this and then cut it out, or you can just cut this out in color. I mean, like, it matches. So you can cut these leaves, you can cut this flower using this. So, and then just have different elements. So you can stamp it, and then you can have a 3D effect also on the card, and it just adds more to it. It's so pretty. And I think I just realized that one of the things I wanted to cut out, I put away. So let me grab that really quick before I go to look for it and can't find it. Okay, I got it. Set that in here. All right, so I already cut out 2 of these because it does take a little bit of time. Since I'm using 3 of them, there's some details. So these are the leaves that it cuts out, and see how fine and pretty those are. But it cuts out all these little tiny sections. You have to poke them out. So I have 2 of them, and I want 3. So I'm going to cut a 3rd one out, and I'll do that with you. Set up my big shot already just a few minutes ago with the precision plate. The precision plate lets you really get in when you have detailed dies like that. It lets you really get in there and get all those fine details. And I lost the die. Well, okay. So, how did that happen? Okay, just breathe. Everybody just has to breathe. We just have to take a breath and pause and figure out why I am missing. There it is. Okay. Whew, that was close. Well, okay. So I have the vellum, and I have my regular base. I have my precision base, and then I'm going to make my sandwich. Or my sandwich. I know it drives people crazy when I say that, but I like it. Alright, so now I'll show you what I mean by details. And I feel like while I have this out, I want to go ahead and cut the little tag. I'm going to go ahead and cut this stitched piece. That was one of her elements also, had to have a stitched piece. And I'm using the stitched labels for framelits. So we have these here. We have 2 edges, and then a little heart and some stitch pieces, a little cross stitch kind of thing, and then this tag I just thought was really pretty. Okay, oops, stay right there. I probably should have put the magnetic. It's acting like it's trying to be magnetic, but there's no magnets there. So I don't know what you're doing. You know, that always it used to make me so nervous when it would do that. It's acting like it's breaking. It's not breaking, I promise. It just sounds like it is. Okay, put all my pieces together, set that aside. I don't think I'm doing any more with the big shot, so I'll put it over here. Put my dies, since I'm always at risk for losing these things, I'm going to go ahead and put that away. Put the leaf away. Oh, you know what? I got to do some work with the leaf. So the leaf, and let me put this here, we're going to have to work on it. We have to finesse it just a little bit. So we're going to have to poke these little holes just gently with our take your pick tool to kind of help the vellum come out of the die. It doesn't hurt it. It doesn't leave holes in your work. It just gently kind of raises it off the back and helps you get it off. Come down here to the stem and do a couple of these, and then I'll start to pull gently. Okay, this one needs a little bit more help. Come on, die. Wow. Of course, you know, when I did this earlier, didn't have any trouble at all. That's always the way, right? I think that's going to be a little better. Oh, here we go. So I'm just going to use this to help raise it up. I don't want to, it's going to be camouflaged. So, you know, if it leaves little marks or anything, it's not that big a deal. And I'm not using the whole leaf anyhow. I'm using 2 whole leaves and part of another one. And it's going to be kind of camouflaged under the tag anyway. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and clean this out real quick. Just poke all these little things out. We have a brush that does this too, but I've kind of set it aside on the other side of the room. Don't know why. I need to bring it back over here. I love it. It's one of my favorite tools. Okay, got it. All right, I'm gonna put this where it belongs so I don't lose it. And throw this away. Okay, so now I have 3 leaves. I'm only going to use part of one of the leaves, so let me go ahead and snip that. All right. Need to poke these little guys out. Look how pretty that is. So it's all stitched and it has this delicate edging. It's really nice. And I was thinking I would maybe do another banner. So I actually banner punched. I did one, punched it out, and then I bannered the end of it. So I'm holding on to this. This is going to be used also somewhere on something. I don't know what, but it's so pretty. I love how that turned out. I'm all kind of, my mat's all askew. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and continue assembling. What I did is I used glue dots to put the leaves down. So these are our mini glue dots, and I just used one on each one. So I used one here. I just laid them, I put the glue dots on first, just laid them down. And then I arranged them. It didn't take a lot of finessing at all. It was really easy to do. I got an idea of where I wanted this to go. And then just laid the leaf down. Laid another one down near it. And then I realized that really you needed something over here, so I just did the third one. Oh, I laid it down. Glue dot down. Okay, so, and I'm just going to put this, center it, and like, where do I want that? Right about there is good. That's fine. It'll all be covered up anyway. All right, so let's stamp this. All right, now she said a stitched shape and a scrap for sentiment, and I'm just using my stitch shape as my sentiment. And I'm using the Friend out of Daisy Lane. So I'm using this Friend right here. Another cute stamp set. And I'm using Mossy Meadow ink. So I don't know if I told you, this is Soft Sea Foam, Mossy Meadow, and then that, of course, that pretty Garden Lane paper. And I'm going to stamp this up. My stamp pad looks nasty, but it's really good. I mean, I don't know why it looks like that. Some of them just do that. They have like little discolored like pimples on them for no apparent reason. But they still work fine. They're just ugly. Perfect. Love it. All right, and then I'll clean my stamp in just a minute. I'm going to let that dry for just a second, and I'm going to get some dimensionals. I'm going to use 3 because I really want it to stick well. Normally I would probably use 2 and not space them so far apart. Maybe a little bit further inward, I don't know. But we have all that vellum, all those vellum leaves, and I want to make sure that this sticks really well with those vellum leaves. Okay, lay that there. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of bling. Just a few of our rhinestone pieces are just really pretty. I'm going to use one for the dot on the eye, and then I'm just going to speckle some more throughout. I think I'm going to do like I did before. I like how I did it before, so I'm just going to go with it. All right, and then I'm going to put one down here. I love how that looks. It's so pretty. I'm going to do one more thing. We like to have a little something on the inside. Sometimes I forget to do that. Sometimes I add it later on when I think of what I want to do, but I just thought, wouldn't it be perfect if I just took the Flourish from the set and I just inked up this top part and just see how I stamped it right there? It's beautiful. I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. So that is Soft Sea Foam, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the Soft Sea Foam ink and do some tone on tone. But you could use the Mossy Meadow if you wanted to. It would look fine too. Come on. When you have a big stamp like this, you typically want to go ahead and use the ink pad to stamp it up. All right, that looks good. And then you don't have to use a mat for this or use a pad for this. I'm just going to lay it down, hold it for just a couple of seconds, and pick it up. And then it looks a little bit kind of fuzzy, like the ink didn't get, it will start to, I don't know, soak in, absorb, and moosh out a little bit. And it'll become more detailed. Okay. Or softer. All right, so there's our card. Isn't that so pretty? I love this. I'm so happy I participated in this challenge. Oh, you know what I didn't do? This stem right here. I want to cut that stem. I don't like it. So I'm just going to snip it right down here very carefully. There we go. That's much better. All right. All right. Thank you for joining me. Go to my go to my website. I have a page, Stampin' on the Bright Side, on Facebook, and my YouTube channel, Carrie Ann Kinky. And hopefully see you there.